Welcome and hello to the people. This is Mac with Mac Commentary. I'm out here today taking my daily walk in the preserve. We had a lot of rain this morning, but the sun and the ground soaks up the water so fast that you can't really tell. But today I'm just going to follow up on my previous reports there and commentary that Bob and I made here a week ago. And what it is I want to know is why aren't more of our elected officials, black officials in particular, getting behind and supporting reparations? And in particular, why aren't the white Democrats getting behind and pushing and supporting Corey bill that she, Bush bill that she submitted in Congress a few weeks ago for reparations of $350,000 each? And why aren't they pushing to vote on the H.R. 40 bill that was submitted by Miss Lee, Representative Lee from Texas, Barbara Lee? Why aren't they pushing and getting that up before it's been through the Judiciary Committee, passed through there? But why hasn't it been pushed on the floor for a vote? And this is something I think all blacks should take note of. Because, for one thing, it shows you that we really have no support out here for the black people and black Americans in particular. And that's what this reparation is all about. And that's so aptly pointed out in Miss Bush's bill. The United States government owes the black Americans over 200 million, 22 million as she put it, hours of payment for slavery, for the toil and the sweat and the blood and everything that happened to them back during that time, and it is today still affecting their descendants, black Americans. And we wonder why people are not getting on the bandwagon and supporting this bill. Especially, we got 50 to 60 Congress people. I think, as my fellow co-host Bob has stated previously, these people, they don't care. They've got their $150,000 jobs, so what do they care about the rest of us? And it's a shame that they feel that way. But I'm telling you, we grassroots black people in America, we got to hold them accountable. And right now, the only way that we can hold them accountable is through the ballot box. Voting them out of office and only voting for those who make a commitment. And if they lie to us and don't carry out their commitment, then we get them out of office. Most of them get into office and they are voted in term after term. And what happens? They got a lifetime of earnings, and then they retire and they even get more and more money, making this almost as much as what they were making before. Right now they're making $170,000 a year, plus, depending on what their position is in the Congress. And we shouldn't allow for that to happen at our detriment. That's what is happening, people. And if we as individuals don't get up and protest one by one to these people, and then if that doesn't work, we should organize and we should start marching. We should take this here back to the days of the civil rights movements or the 50s and 60s. And we should march, picket, boycott, or do whatever is necessary for us to get the reparation, because no matter how much a black person makes in this country, they are still the N-word, but only a bigger N-word. And I'm telling you, that's the truth. We've had many to attest to this, such as Judge Damon Keith. How when he pulled up to park his car, got out of his car, someone else pulled up and gave him the keys and said, "You can park my car, boy." So no matter how big we get, and then you've heard the story of Oprah Winfrey. She goes over to Switzerland or somewhere, very expensive store, and the salesperson would not wait on her because she told her, "You can't afford this." So she's just a bigger end, you know, just like many others of us. We are just a bigger N-word. Yet, all of us suffer. And the ones who are not able to make it out of that ghetto or that slum or whatever you want to call it today, or the hood, those that were not able to make it out, they're going to feel even much more pain. That's why you have the policemen in those areas going through there, patrolling those areas just like the slavery, to keep them in their place. And they keep you, if you are outside of that ghetto, they're keeping you in your place too. How many of you have ever been stopped by the police and harassed? How many of you seen the videos of a 65-year-old black women being dragged out of their cars and thrown on the ground and handcuffed because she made a mistake and didn't stop timely? I tell you, if you don't think we need reparations, then I think what you should do, people, the ones that don't think this, just vote for it anyway and take your money and put it into a fund that will help create businesses all over this country. Or you could take it and put it into a fund and invest it in Africa. Because that's our real homeland right there, people. Everybody got a homeland except the black Americans. And we got to start making one over in some part of Africa. And hopefully one day Africa will become a United States of Africa. But I'm telling you right now, people, it is up to each and every one of us to harass, do whatever is necessary to get these Congress people, these congressional people that we voted in, to get them to step up and do the right thing with reparations. And I'm telling you also, people, the Democratic Party should be behind this. 100% Joe Biden should be behind this. He would not be the president right now had it not been for you black Americans. You remember when Trump said, "What have you got to lose by voting for me?" Well, you can see nothing. You don't lose anything by if you had voted for him, because you got the same thing. Kamala Harris, look what she says in this video.
Do you support reparations for black people?
Well, listen, again, we had over 200 years of slavery. We had Jim Crow for almost a century. We had legalized discrimination, segregation, and now we have segregation and discrimination that is not legal but still exists and is a barrier to progress. We have disparities around housing. We have disparities around education. We have disparities around income. And we have to recognize that everybody did not start out on an equal footing in this country. And in particular, black people have not. And so we have got to recognize that and do something about that and give folks a lift up. That's why, for example, I'm proposing the LIFT Act. Give people who are making $100,000 or less as a family a tax credit, which will benefit and uplift 60% of black families who are in poverty.
So by default, it affects black families, but there's not a particular policy for African Americans that you would explore.
But no, if you look at the reality of who will benefit from certain policies, when you take into account that they're not starting at the same place and they're not starting on equal footing, it will directly benefit black children, black families, black homeowners, because the disparities are so significant. So if we focus on the specific issues that have resulted in the greatest disparities, and we understand that that's part of why we're doing it. Listen, the reality also is this: any policy that will benefit black people will benefit all society. Let's be clear about that. Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No, because whatever benefits that black family will benefit that community and society as a whole and the country. Right?
Now that you listen to that video, people, what is it that we can do to convince you that's something that we got to take initiative and take steps to rid ourselves of these people? I mean, I'm not going to go through all the details, how reparations will benefit black Americans. It's just as one doctor from a Duke University stated, can't think of his name right now, but I will put it in the link. He said we should get reparation and monetarily to close the wealth gap. How do we close the wealth gap? Well, right now, if a black got $10,000, a white got $120,000 net worth. I'm talking about. And don't you think this here $350,000 will help close that gap? I mean, many of us probably would take that money and go out there and put it right back into the economy, buy various cars and different things. Maybe we'll go out there and some would even buy homes, which is a good thing, because that's creating wealth right there, people, that they can leave as an inheritance to their kids or grandkids. So I'm telling you, we need this reparation. And if we don't get it, I don't think that we're going to be able to survive in this country. Look at what they've done with the mayor of, he's a Democrat. But have you ever heard him talk about reparations? The mayor of Chicago, he gave $51 million to support the immigrants coming into Chicago. Yet they getting a start. We came over in this country. Our ancestors came in this country in the bottom of the boats, the holds of the boats. And when we got off, we were shackled and we were sold on the trading block. And what happened at that time, people? We sweat, I'm talking about our ancestors, we sweated, we died, and we left nothing. We earned nothing, we left nothing. What type of life was that to live? Yet they produced descendants. And to this day, these descendants are still going through something very similar. Do you know that they gave 160 acres of land to Europeans to come over to this country? But they would not let the black Americans who was free in the 1880s, they would not let them get an acre of that land out west. And look, do you don't think that helped their people today? And these people here today, oh, I didn't have anything to do. And I hate these Indians who get up here and talk about that crap. And who tries to put themselves as almighty way above the black American. Now, you got to remember that many of us died, not just in slavery, but outside of that time. And through these things here, people, when we died like that, I'm telling you right now what happened. We got nothing, but we opened up the doors for other ethnic groups to come into this country, people of color, as they call them, the Indians, the Hispanics. We open those doors up, people. And now they are here and they think they are better than us. They came over here because many of them had wealth when they came here. They had the opportunity when they came here to go to schools that many of us didn't have. And yet they said we should have done this. Yet they don't understand or even try to understand our situation, people. But yet they're going to bury us, as Dr. Claude Anderson said. Look what's happening. Look at the floodgates since Biden got in. Look at the floodgates of all the immigrants coming into this country. We will no longer, and we are no longer, the largest, quote, minority, unquote. But that is why, people, we need our reparations so we can get up on be on the level playing field as the rest of these people out here, these immigrants coming to this country. From 1880 all the way up to the present day, they've gotten a head start. And you got blacks that's throwing it in there and giving them this head start. And I'm telling you right now, it's time for us to stop this here BS, people. None of them respect us. The Asians, the Hispanics. But we don't need anybody to respect us. We need to respect ourselves, people. And fight for what is rightfully ours, reparations. I want to thank you for taking the time to listen to this today. I want you to take action, people. Write to those Congress people. Do whatever it takes, people. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video, people. We need to get the word out because apparently it's not getting out. People don't realize. They think because you live in a nice home and everything is hunky-dory that you're okay. Well, people, I'm telling you, you better wake up and look around you and start to understand what is happening. Look at your people. Look what they have done to your people. Look what they have done with the rap music to your people. And look at the people who are doing the rapping. Some of those people, are those your people? Or who people are they? They're controlled by the music moguls and the theaters moguls. Thank you and have a great day.